everybody, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Sinead DeFries, and this is The Daily Show, where we bring you the latest news from the world of movies, plus some insight into what it all means. Joining us, as always, is AMC Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, coming to you live from here at the Stream.tv studios, right here in Hollywood, California, and we are so glad you decided to make us part of your day.
Also here is AMC Production Manager, Dennis Zen.
I'm glad to be back from my trip of the
Back from Paris!
Land of the baguettes and escargot.
And Writer-Director, John Schnepp.
Hey, what's going on? I'm glad. Welcome back, man.
Thanks.
Welcome back, Dennis.
How was France?
It was good.
What'd you do? What's the highlight?
Took a lot of pictures. I had like 1 million pictures of the Eiffel Tower for some reason.
I'm so glad you're back. Between you and me, Schnepp is insufferable when you're not here. Thank God you're back.
He kind of evens it out, you know?
All right, what do we got?
All right, so tomorrow marks the 5th anniversary since the zombie comedy Zombieland opened in theaters. Since that time, several attempts at a sequel have been made without success, as well as a failed TV show pilot made for Amazon. But now word has it that Sony Studios is once again trying to revitalize the project, and they have hired Dave Callaham. Callaham previously wrote the original Expendables and the 2005 Dwayne Johnson video game film Doom. He'll be working closely with director Ruben Fleischer, who will be returning to helm the second film as well. John, do you think Zombieland 2 will actually happen?
I think sometimes we get really excited when we hear about, oh, they've hired the writer. That means the movie is happening. This isn't a greenlit movie yet. I think they're still trying to explore it. So I'm going to say it's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm going to give it a 30% chance. I think there's a 30% chance that we're actually going to see a Zombieland 2. And it's funny today because reading a lot of reaction online, like a lot of people are very excited Ruben Fleischer's returning to direct it, and I am too. But before we get too excited, let's not forget that after Zombieland, Ruben directed 30 Minutes or Less, which I actually kind of got a kick out of, but the majority, I think he got like a 43% critic rating, like a 41% audience rating. And then after that, he did one of the most disappointing movies I've seen in the last 3 or 4 years, which was Gangster Squad. I mean, that was in my like top 10 most anticipated films of the year list, and it was horrible, like just dreadfully bad. So I like Zombieland very much. I'm excited to go back to that world, but I'm not going to get overly hyped. Now, but one other thing I want to mention, a lot of people online talking about the fact that you got it, because there's been no word about what cast is coming back, if any. Like we don't know if Jesse Eisenberg's coming back, who he also worked with in 30 Minutes or Less. We don't know if Woody Harrelson's coming back. We don't know any of this stuff. And a lot of people online were saying, it has to be the original cast or else it will not work. And it's like, well, I mean, on the one hand, you take comedies like Dumb and Dumber, obviously they went with a different cast and it didn't work. You go with The Mask, with the son of The Mask, different cast, obviously that didn't work. But let's not forget, The Hangover 2 and 3 had the original cast too, and that didn't work. Analyze This was magnificent, but they brought back the same cast for Analyze That, and it was horrible. So I don't think it's an absolute necessity that they bring back the original cast, but I think it gives them a step up if they do. Anyway, Dennis, what do you think about this?
If I had to go with a 50-50 chance of it happening, I'd say no. I mean, the thing is, with the brand name, they thought it was bigger than it actually was. They couldn't even get a TV show off of it. And it's a situation kind of like Sin City, where it's like, oh, maybe you should have struck where the iron is hot. Now it's like, now since the time the first Zombieland came out, there's been so many zombie movies. The Walking Dead's huge on television.
Yeah.
It's kind of, the zombie thing is kind of full right now. And so I don't know if they actually can do it. And hiring a writer, like you said, doesn't mean anything. The cost to hire a writer, while a lot to us, for the studio is like nothing, you know? Like 50,000, 60,000, a few $100,000 tops, you know? And for them, that's not the same as actually greenlighting a movie.
Schnepp?
Right, and they also didn't get a writer who was like Oscar winning. It's more like the guy who wrote Doom and had to fight to get the credit for Expendables and tear it away from Sylvester Stallone or whatever.
And he didn't even write the good Expendables. At least
he didn't write the second Expendables. Yeah.
So yeah, you know, as long as they do a zombie comedy, I'm still in to see Zombieland 2. You know, I didn't see the Amazon pilot, and
Apparently nobody did.
Gangster Squad is super disappointing, but he's returning back to something that put him on the map, so maybe it's a good thing. So,
Yeah.
you know.
And let's not overestimate, too. I think a lot of people think it's going to be tough. Jesse Eisenberg is now a bigger star than he was when they did 5 years ago when they did the first Zombieland. Woody Harrelson is once again at the top of his game, coming off of the TV show with True Detective. I mean, and obviously Emma Stone she's Emma Stone. And that film, the original one, before we jump up too much about and overemphasizing how successful and what a great film the first one was, and it was great. I did like it a lot. But let's not over-exaggerate how successful it was. Worldwide, the film barely cracked $100 million worldwide. So it's not like they can bust out the checkbook and pay all these guys now what they're worth and bring them all back. So I think 30% chance it happens, 5% chance that you actually get the original cast back.
I think Zombieland 2 without the original cast and just doing another set of people
in that same
world makes more sense anyway.
I kind of agree.
I mean, because I like that kind of sequel. They did a lot overseas where they would just call it like Ghost Story 2, but it has nothing to do with the first Ghost Story. It's just another Ghost Story, cinematic one.
But I would love it if they found some ridiculous plot device somehow to get Bill Murray in there just for a minute. Like, that would be awesome.
Oh my God, that would be fantastic.
All right, what's next?
All right, so as odd as this sounds, a Tetris movie is now officially in development.
Woohoo!
Yes, that Tetris, the one with the blocks. Word came out that Threshold Entertainment will produce the film, and CEO Larry Kasanoff has described it like this. It's a very big, epic sci-fi movie. This isn't a movie with a bunch of lines running around the page. We're not giving feet to the geometric shapes. Schnepp, are you excited for a Tetris movie?
Don't lie now.
I like shapes. I like moving shapes around and fitting them into other shapes. But that's not a movie, all right? This is idiotic. We've reached a new low where we have some executive explaining, we're not putting feet on the shapes, but it's shapes. It's like, come up with another, why even Tetris? Philbix, Gromlower, Scrimbix. There's a brand new title. You don't have to pay for the IP. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm adapting a brand new movie. It's called Breakout. It's about some dudes in a rainbow prison. It's like, come on. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I love Tetris, the video game.
The sad thing is I want that movie. I want to see that movie.
I'm making it Breakout, guys. A rainbow prison. Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Dennis?
No, I'm not excited for it either. I'm also disappointed that he's like, it's going to be a sci-fi epic. What does Tetris have to do with that?
Nothing. Nothing.
But at least like when you hear Tetris, it's Russian. I'm thinking like, okay, it's going to be some sort of spy thriller where this American hero breaks into a top secret Russian secret facility and he has to play the Tetris game to like keep the nuclear missiles from launching. It's like Speed or something like that.
I'd see that movie.
For 2 hours, right? But instead it's a sci-fi epic, so I don't know. That part of me really, I mean, other than the fact that I'm making the movie.
Dennis, they're not putting feet on the shapes.
You don't get it.
It's all good to go.
There's no feet. It's totally different.
Yeah.
Geometric shapes with no feet.
Now I'm in.
What really kills me about this statement is the fact that, okay, first of all, Threshold, it's this company that's done some straight-to-home video type of Lego properties, and it's done something, and they're also involved in developing theme park rides and theme park stuff, right? What killed me was the CEO of the company, in his comments, he actually mentions the fact that, and this is going to make great on-site entertainment theme park attractions as well. So immediately, look, we all get that in the movie world, merchandising, expanding, that's all part of it. I get it. But for heaven's sakes, if you're producing a movie, don't come right out at the bat and admit right up front, what we really care about is making theme park rides. You're not exactly giving me any hope for this movie, like whatsoever. And look, let's be very clear. A lot of people, when we talk about how ridiculous certain ideas sound or how bad a certain movie sounds, like, how can you judge this movie yet when you haven't seen it? Well, let's keep in mind, there are two separate things here. There's making a determination, a judgment about how a movie looks, and then there's judging a movie for how it actually is. Those are two separate things. I mean, we've talked about lots of movies that look like crap and then gone to see them, they're great. Dread 3D, right? Mm-hmm. That movie was great, but that doesn't change the fact that it did look horrible. It was a horrible looking movie that actually ended up being great. So we're not judging Tetris. We haven't seen Tetris. We'll save that until we see the movie, and then we'll judge it for the horrible piece of crap it is. But for now, for now, all we're talking about is, as a concept, this is terrible.
Well, I mean, that's a reason why they have trailers and marketing and stuff like that. Otherwise, they'd be like, oh, this is the name of the movie, show up. You know, if you can't make a judgment call based on trailers and footage and advertising, then what else is there?
I would love it if Marvel did that on their next movie poster. Show up.
Yep.
That would be awesome.
Dropping it next week.
All right, folks, we've reached that part of the show for buy or sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Sinead's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down. Then the rest of us at the table are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Sinead, what do we got?
All right, so the first trailer for Paul Thomas Anderson's new film, Inherent Vice, hit the web just the other day. The film stars Joaquin Phoenix, Josh Brolin, Owen Wilson, Catherine Waterston, Reese Witherspoon, Benicio del Toro, Martin Short, and Jenna Malone. The film is described as follows. Private Eye, Doc Sportello's ex-old lady suddenly out of nowhere shows up with a story about her current billionaire land developer boyfriend, whom she just happens to be in love with, so they make a plot with his wife and her boyfriend to kidnap that billionaire and throw him in a loony bin. Well, easy for her to say. Inherent Vice opens in AMC theaters on December 12th. Dennis, do you buy or sell the first trailer for Inherent Vice?
Oh, it's a big buy for me. I loved it. I'm a big fan of P.T. Anderson. This is a departure from his There Will Be Blood master style and kind of more similar to Boogie Nights. The trailer kind of reminded me of more of like Scorsese, Coen Brothers, even Tarantino, just the tone, the music, and the style of it. So I'm really looking forward to it.
This trailer, I saw it for the first time. It was actually out before we did yesterday's show, but I didn't see it till right after the show when we were all sitting around. It's like, oh, and then Amy Rose popped on the Inherent Vice trailer. The first thing that went through my head was, this looks like a Tarantino or a Coen Brothers film, and that's a good thing. This was not what I was expecting. Because you hear P.T. Anderson, Inherent Vice, that particular cast, especially with Joaquin Phoenix leading it, I expected a different type of trailer. I expected a different type of tone. This trailer was funny. I mean, really, really funny. And Phoenix looks like this could be the best performance he's ever given us. I mean, I went from being curious about it just because of who the director was to now I'm in on this movie, like totally, completely in. Anyway, Schnapp, you saw it. What did you think?
100% in. And plus, I've read a lot of Pynchon books. You expect the unexpected with him, and he's a great writer. So putting him together with Anderson and then this cast, I was already in, and then I saw the trailer. And I was like, oh my God, this looks like so much fun. Bonkers. It looks all over the place in a great way, where it's going to be like it's a ride through like a real cool, interesting story with a lot of great characters. And yeah, Joaquin, wow, standout. He looks like a 70s Wolverine. You know what I mean? It's like it's fantastic. So.
I mean, I think what highlights it for me is that one scene in the trailer when he's sneaking in the house and somebody hits him in the back of the head and he's just like, and then falls, or just the way he pulled that off.
How great was the Josh Brolin scene in the Japanese restaurant?
Oh,
so amazing.
Japanese.
And some really great surprises popping up. I mean, even when you first watched this trailer, you thought, oh, what? Owen Wilson's here. What? Martin Short's here. Like these crazy appearances. I'm dying to see this movie. I cannot wait. All right, what's next?
All right, so as you may recall, Sony Pictures is developing an animated Angry Birds feature film that will hit AMC theaters on July 1st, 2016. Today, Sony revealed the voice cast for the film, which includes Jason Sudeikis, Bill Hader, Maya Rudolph, Peter Dinklage, Josh Gad, Danny McBride, and Keegan-Michael Key. John, with this voice cast on board, do you buy or sell an Angry Birds movie?
Still sell it. I'm one of those guys who the voice cast is whatever. Very rarely do you get a Michael Myers is Shrek. Very rarely do you get a Chris Pratt is the special. You know, most of the time you can put whatever names you want in there. Right. It's funny how I feel like every day for the last 23 days, Keegan-Michael Key has been on our topic list. But I will say this though, the addition of Peter Dinklage is very cool. I would have been skeptical about it, except we've been playing Destiny, and he has a very powerful voice with a lot of inflection and everything. Just playing that game, he actually kind of makes me hang in there narrative-wise at any rate. So that's an interesting choice, but you know, it doesn't matter who you add as the voice cast to this. It's not going to change my feelings either positively or negatively on it. So for me, it's still a sell.
I like the cast as well, but I'm going to sell it unless someone like Chris Miller and Phil Lord decide to come in and
changes
direct.
Everything.
Yeah, because with the Lego movie, I kind of had the same reaction with Angry Birds.
Yeah, so did I.
I don't know. And then I actually saw it, and it's one of my favorite movies of the year. So for now, I'm going to sell it.
Schnapp?
Yeah, I'm going to sell it because they have feet. Guys, when you have the shapes and you put feet on them, it just ruins it, man.
It's like, come on, this is filmmaking 101.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Angry Bird. He looks cool as a character design, but does that make a movie? Who knows? I'm, announcing a great stellar cast. There have been incredible voice casts for some of the worst animated films ever. So
yeah, that's true.
I'm not going to list them all off, but just look up the last 5 years of animated films and see if you remember half of them.
Or even behind that, remember that one Robots with Robin Williams?
Yeah.
There was a great, it doesn't really make a difference most of the time, but there are exceptions.
Let's see a trailer for Angry Birds, then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Okay, so the first trailer for Taken 3 has hit the web, starring Liam Neeson, Forrest Whitaker, Famke Janssen, and Maggie Grace. Now, the film hits AMC theaters on January 9th, 2015. Schnepp, do you buy or sell the trailer for Taken 3?
All right, first of all, guys, I have not seen Taken or Taken 2. Go ahead, let the hate come at me. But I saw the trailer for this, and now I want to see the first two and then see this third one, because I love Nonstop, and I've seen most of all the other Liam Neeson films. I just couldn't get into the whole, I have a very special set of skills. I'm like, hang on a minute, I'll wait. I'm finally going to see him. I'm sold on the trailer. I'm buying it. It looks fun.
I actually got to buy it too. This was a much better looking trailer than I thought, and it's the perfect next step if you're going to follow this character, and the character's great. I'm actually one of these guys that I did not dislike Taken 2. A lot of people hated it. But what I told friends of mine to do is look, just forget that they're two separate movies. If you watch Taken 1 and Taken 2 at the same time and just look at it as one movie, I think it makes up for a lot of the weaknesses of Taken 2. But I'm not going to sit here and defend Taken 2 too hard, because it's not like it was a great film. But this looked like a great trailer. I was expecting something really cheesy and campy. I was expecting them to kidnap the dog next or something like that. But this was a nice, logical next step. I'm on board. A little bit of a whodunit involved with Liam Neeson just going around hunting you, which is, to me, the most terrifying thought in the world. Yeah, for me, it's a buy.
I can't believe you have never watched Taken. No. It's like you don't even watch movies.
It's like I don't know anything about film.
Exactly. No, I enjoyed the first one. I didn't see the second one because I had heard mixed things about it. And also the director, Olivier Megaton, who's also directing this one, he had done Colombiana, which I was not a fan of.
No, not at all.
But this trailer, I buy it. Just because I watch it, I'm like, okay, now the story's changed. It's now more like The Fugitive. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like Liam Neeson's The Fugitive, and the action actually looks really good. Forrest Whitaker's in it, so I'm actually gonna go watch the second one, which I didn't see, just so I can watch the third one.
It's got, with the Forrest Whitaker character too, it's got a little bit of what's the Harrison Ford film? The Fugitive. It's got a little bit of a feel of The Fugitive, with the cop and him on the run while also trying to accomplish something. I liked it a lot.
He's the Tommy Lee Jones.
Are you sure it's Forrest Whitaker? I think it's a different actor.
Huh?
Are you sure it's Forrest?
I'm pretty positive for it, yeah. All right, what's next?
Okay, the new Keanu Reeves' film, John Wick, hits AMC theaters on October 24th, and a brand new poster for the film has just hit the web, which you can check out here. In the film, Reeves' character, a legendary ex-hitman, comes out of retirement to track down the gangsters that took everything from him. Dennis, do you buy or sell the new John Wick poster?
I buy the poster. It's not great or anything, but I'm really looking forward to the movie. I mean, I actually hadn't heard of this movie, and then one of the first things I did when I came back is I went with John, your wife, and our friend Johnny to go watch UFC, and the commercial came on during the prelim fights, and I was like, what is this? I don't know. And you were like, oh, it's awesome, blah, blah, blah. And so I went back home and I watched the trailer, and like, this is badass. I'm like, okay, I hope this movie like restarts Keanu Reeves' action star hero thing.
Yeah, I agree too. Now, had I not seen the trailer, I would sell the poster. Ugh. But having seen the trailer and got a feel for the sense of the tone of the movie, and now looking at the poster, I like how the gun barrel makes the O in his name. I'm going to buy it. I think it kind of captures the spirit of what we saw in the trailer. And by the way, they did put out another short trailer, a 1-minute trailer, and in it, it's mostly the same stuff we saw in the first trailer, but there's an extra line from the big mob boss where the dude from Game of Thrones says, "I'm not afraid of John Wick," and the mob boss goes, "I once saw him kill 3 men, pause, with a pencil." It's like, done, I'm in, this is perfect, I cannot wait, Schnepp.
Well, it's funny that it's like Taken 3 and John Wick both have like a guy with a special set of skills that everyone's like, we're afraid of him. But yeah, John Wick, the trailer, it totally sold me on Keanu coming back as an action star. It's really fun. It's got an all-star cast of villains that you can't wait for him to kill. How's he gonna kill them all? And yeah, there's actually another poster with him just like him as the I in Wick. I don't know if you saw that one.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
There's like two. They're playing with the words, and this one I like with the John, you know, with the O of the gun barrel.
Yeah.
So I'll buy the poster. So I'm looking forward to this film.
What's interesting is that two directors are stunt coordinators. They're not like direct, so that's probably why the action looks so good.
Great. Yeah, and even the dialogue just drips machismo. And every once in a while, I just like seeing a movie like that. So here's fingers crossed, man.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we've reached the part of the show for mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address in the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, if you're watching us live, we're actually going to save a few minutes at the end of the show to take some of your live questions via Twitter. So hop on Twitter and tweet some questions to us at AMC Movie News, and at the end of the show, Sinead's going to pick out a few and we'll address those then. But for now, let's get to the mailbag. So Sinead, what's in there?
All right, the first one comes from Dean. Love the show, been watching for well over a year now. Great stuff. My question is, do you think that Captain America 3 is really Marvel's version of Batman versus Superman in Captain America versus Iron Man? Kevin Feige recently said he's had the name for Captain America 3 in his head for 10 years, which makes me think of Civil War. Do you think Marvel would take DC's main marketing move saying our two top guys are going to fight and say we can do it better? Thanks.
Nope. No. First, a couple things. Iron Man is their #1 box office draw right now. If you're going to have a movie that's Iron Man, it's not going to be Captain America 3. It's going to be Iron Man. Plus, the other thing is, let's not forget, this is a very, very important thing. Robert Downey Jr. has 2 films left on his contract, and one of those is Avengers 2. The other one is going to be used for Avengers 3. So there are no more films for Robert Downey Jr. to appear in unless some new contract gets written. And I believe Avengers 3 will be the last time that we see Robert Downey Jr. Fingers crossed that I'm wrong and they're able to come up to some sort of an agreement. But I think after Avengers 3, we're going to see a brand new Tony Stark. So they just don't have the contract in place to have a Captain America 3 versus Iron Man, and which also goes to that whole ridiculous discussion we were having the other day about, will they split Avengers 3 into 2 films? You can't, because you don't have Robert Downey Jr. in a contract for that. Unfortunately, it's a very cool idea, but unfortunately, just the logistics of it doesn't work. Dennis?
I don't think they're really... If they actually did it, I don't think they'd be stealing anything from DC. I mean, versus one person or another. Another thing I thought of, like he mentioned Civil War, and we've talked a lot about that, about kind of the problems of bringing Civil War in terms of not having all the characters like Spider-Man and Fantastic Four who are integral into that storyline. But I kind of realized another thing. The whole basis of Civil War is the Superhero Registration Act,
right,
and how some people don't want to reveal their secret identities. Well, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that is not a big deal. Everyone knows who Tony Stark is Iron Man. Everyone knows Steve Rogers is Captain America. Thor is Thor.
Black Widow is sitting in a congressional hearing.
Exactly. Bruce Banner transforms into the Hulk right in front of millions of people.
Right.
So I don't think that whole secret identity thing really exists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, which doesn't mean they can't take themes from Civil War and come up with a different reason why they have to be at odds with each other if they want, and do it without Spider-Man and do it without Fantastic Four. But just remember, it would be totally different from the Civil War we know from the comic books, absolutely different. Schnepp?
Yeah, I was trying to think what the title would be besides Civil War. They're not going to go Captain America 3, The Death of Captain America. I mean, you know what I mean? Because that was the other big Brubaker thing where they killed him off and the Winter Soldier took over. So, I mean, we keep hearing rumblings about, Sebastian Shaw signed on for 40 other movies.
Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Shaw.
Sebastian Shaw. Yeah, the Hellfire Club.
The Hellfire King is coming.
He's going to be in it, guys. He's Captain America. So, I don't think it's going to be Civil War. Could they call it Captain America 3 Civil War? Or not just Captain America Civil War? They could, and just take elements of it. It could be a cool way to bring in that whole storyline of the death of Captain America. So they might just use the title and just not have Iron Man in it at all. So
yeah. I'm going to stick to my original guns, although I do not believe Captain America's dying in the movies. I think we had Steve Rogers as Captain America for 60 years before they finally felt the need to have him die, and then he was only dead for about 3 months.
Well, what about, maybe if they, not death, but just he gets replaced.
Right, yeah.
He's
I've said that very publicly. I don't believe they're replacing Steve Rogers as Captain America
No,
at
not
all.
replace the actor. I mean, Steve Rogers, the character.
Yeah, no, I don't believe they're replacing
break.
Steve Rogers. I don't think.
Okay.
I think Steve Rogers will still be Captain America at the end.
I see it differently. I can see it they actually have him become someone else. Wasn't he U.S. agent for a while?
He was Nomad. Remember that, guys?
Yeah.
Nomad. He was a
But
bunch of
when we had the Russo brothers in here, I specifically asked them that question. And while they try to stay a little vague on it, if you go back and watch that interview, I think it's pretty clear that they're not, and especially if you listen to the commentary from the guys who are doing the next Thor film when they talked about, in the comic books, they've now made Thor a girl. Are you going to change things? Are you going to replace, the traditional Thor characters? Chris Hemsworth going to become something else and a female character? And they said, look, in the Marvel comics, they said they went through 50 or 60 years of stuff before they needed to change things up. We're just getting started in this movie universe.
Right.
So I don't think they have any intention of doing it. But who knows? It's absolutely possible. All right, folks, we said we'd save a few minutes at the end of the show for your live Twitter questions, and we're going to do that right now. So tweet into us at AMC Movie News. Sinead's the one deciding what gets asked. So, Sinead, what have you picked out?
All right, so going off of Paul Thomas Anderson, at Bizou wants to know, is Paul Thomas Anderson a director that could hit a Spielberg level?
It depends. I mean, the one thing about Spielberg, one of the things that makes Spielberg is that he does everything. He can do everything, and he can have Oscar-nominated films in every genre imaginable, whether it's sci-fi, period piece, heavy dramatic, comedy, animation, whatever. I mean, he just does it all. I think for P.T. Anderson, who's still, in relative terms, in Spielberg and Scorsese terms, he's still very young in his career. Could he get there? Yes. But I think a guy like that would have to diversify. I'd love to see him put out straight-up comedy. I'd love to see him put out a sci-fi film, and let's see what he can do in that sort of realm. And then we can start talking about whether he belongs on that Mount Rushmore that we're always talking about. Can he get there? Based on the work he's done so far, yeah, he could. He very well could. What do you guys think?
I mean, talent-wise, potentially, yeah, he could, but I don't think he will in terms of the mass influence over movies, because Spielberg is, a lot of his movies appeal across the spectrum to a lot of different people.
Right.
P.T. Anderson doesn't really do that. His movies are much more niche, they're much more indie, they're much
Art
more...
house in some ways.
Exactly, and I don't see that changing. I mean, he may open it up a little bit, but I just don't see him going that full, Jurassic Park, type of thing.
Yeah, his career is he's not even in the Spielberg universe. I would say he's in a meter moving towards a Scorsese type of level where he can do a lot of different kinds of genres, but he has a specific style. Spielberg's Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jaws, Close Encounters. I mean, the list is endless, and they're giant blockbuster movies that are incredibly well done, but he has such a specific style to his filmmaking that you can always kind of tell it's a Spielberg movie, just like Scorsese and Anderson, but it's in a different way. It's not like Anderson started out and he's a young Spielberg. That's why I would put him in the camp of more of like you said, an art house type, or if he's going to keep developing, he's going to develop more into a Scorsese, trying different genres, but within his own wheelhouse of style. So,
all right, what's next?
All right, the next question comes from @RockFan360. Critically, speaking, and not based on box office, do you think that PG live-action family movies will ever make a comeback?
Have they gone somewhere?
yeah, where did they go?
Yeah,
They're still around.
Yeah, I
Box
mean,
Trolls right there is PG.
it's great.
And it's number 3 at the box office.
I mean, it really depends. Are we when I think PG? I think I just put PG and PG-13 in the same mix.
Right.
And if you're doing that, then Avengers did pretty good, and it's a pretty critically loved. Captain America, X-Men: Days of Future Past. I mean, I think yes, I believe live-action PG films have not gone anywhere as far as how good they are. They're great.
I think maybe they're talking about Oscar or nominations for Academy Awards, but then maybe it leans towards more PG-13 R-rated stuff, so maybe that's what he's asking about.
I see. He's live action. I misinterpreted. He's not talking about animation. He's saying live
action,
PG.
but yeah.
Well, guys, Annie's coming out, and I know everyone's gonna. Let's not talk about Annie. Yeah, PG. That's a test for somebody. Hey, let's make some PG live action movies and see what happens. I can't really think off the top of my head.
Well, I just listed off a whole bunch of them.
PG-13.
Right,
yeah,
but I kind of just see the line is so indistinguishable between PG and PG-13. Now, family, that would be different, but PG, I just kind of see that as one thing.
I guess you'd have to say G-rated. I'm not going to go see a G-rated movie. Why not? I mean, imagine if a G-rated movie blew up and was a $1 billion franchise. It's made of shapes with feet.
All right, time for 2 more. What do we got?
All right, this one comes from @LucasCunhanovo, asking, what do you think about Michael Bay directing a Call of Duty movie? That would be the most epic action movie ever made.
Look, as much as everybody Let me start this again. All right. A lot of times, the wide film-going audience fan, we are really a bunch of bandwagoners. I mean, that's what we do. We do it, I do it, you do it, we all do it from time to time, right? We try not to, but we all do from time to time. And right now, the big bandwagon thing is to hate on Michael Bay. That's if you don't hate on Michael Bay, you're not cool, right? That's the thing. And look, I hate Transformers 2, 3, and 4, and let's step back for a second, okay? Michael Bay made The Rock, and I love that movie. A lot of people love Bad Boys. I thought he did a good job with Pain and Gain. Armageddon is one of my big guilty pleasure movies, as a matter of fact. So, a Call of Duty movie? Hell, if you were going to ask me, hey, what would be the perfect project for Michael Bay next? I'd probably go Call of Duty. I think that's an excellent question. And yes, I do think, because everybody knows how much Michael Bay loves the armed forces. He loves the armed forces. He works with them closely in a lot of his movies. He has a deep respect for it. I think he would give us something that's bombastic and fun. Go ridiculous with it. Don't have dangling testicles of a giant monster robot that they have to fight, and we'll be okay. I think that would be a great fit, honestly. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you just changed my mind, because I was like, no, Michael Bay, because Transformers is still in my face.
Yeah.
But yeah, move that out of the way.
Like giant robotic testicles.
Yeah, giant testicles, and then a dog peeing on a robot, it hiding behind a house. All they get it out of here. But yeah, Pain and Gain, I love that movie. The Rock, I'm a big fan of it. So Michael Bay is a good filmmaker when he's, I think, I don't know, I'm sure he was invested in Transformers 4. That thing is just a weird nightmare. I don't even know let's not talk about it. But, Call of Duty, why not? He would probably do a really good job with that. So.
Well, I disagree with the tweet that it would be the most epically awesome action movie of all time. I do think it's a good fit, because I haven't played any of the recent Call of Duty games, but the ones that I have played, while I'm playing, I'm playing a Michael Bay movie. That's what I felt like. And so he is a perfect fit for it. And so I think it actually would be good. So.
Yeah, all right, let's take one more question for the day.
All right, at Marvel Maniac 25 says, please pick me. Which mutants would you want to see in the new up-and-coming Deadpool film?
Well, look, I've been on record. I'll say it again. It does not have to be Ryan Reynolds. I really want it to be Ryan Reynolds. I mean, it makes sense. I think he's great for it. I think he did a great job with it in that terrible Wolverine film until they did everything to him that they did. I thought his voice was perfect for it in that little clip. He's been the champion of this film. He's been the cheerleader trying to really push this thing forward and use his influence to get it made. I would really like to see Ryan Reynolds. If it's not, it can still work, but I'd like it to be Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my top choice, Abe Vigoda, second, Christopher Walken, third, Ryan Reynolds. That's how it's going, guys.
Yeah, I'd go with Ryan Reynolds, just because he's so passionate about the project, and we've seen the little test, and it worked.
Yeah, worked great. All right, folks, so that'll do it for us for this installment of AMC Movie Talk. Thank you so much for joining us. Listen, don't forget, lots of great films both playing and opening in AMC theaters everywhere this week. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and of course your movie ticket information. If you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video and you'll find the link to our podcast feed. And don't forget to click the thumbs up button and subscribe, and tell all your friends and family to subscribe to the AMC Movie News YouTube channel. I want to thank the guys sitting at the table with me. First of all, triumphantly returning from his conquering of France, Mr. Dennis Zen. Dennis, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero, or on Instagram, dennis.tzeng.
And of course, writer-director Mr. John Schnepp, triumphantly returning from his conquering of Pasadena. Schnepp, where can people find you online?
You can find me at Twitter and Instagram at John Schnepp and at TDOSLWH, and geometric shapes with feet.
It's going to trend worldwide. And of course, our lovely host today, making her first official appearance as one of our hosts here at AMC Movie News, Miss Sinead DeFries. Sinead, where can people find you online?
Thank you. It's good to be here. I am on Twitter and Instagram at Sinead DeFries, or on my site, that'ssosinead.com.
And of course, you can find me on the various social media networks just at John Campea. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name is John Campea for AMC Movie News, and until tomorrow, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you like this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.